U7Buy provides the most convenient, fastest, and safest way to upgrade your team with numerous positive reviews and verified by top creators from different countries with 24/7 online customer support. Before the end of October, all users who place an order for FC26 coins on U7Buy for their first order of FC26 coins can enjoy a plus 10% coin bonus. Using my discount code Inception can get an additional 8% discount. Okay guys, so for today, we're going to go ahead and do the evolution video. There's like this new SBC for like the hero players, but guys, honestly, like listen to what I'm going to say, okay? With Hamzik, there's potential with this card on a shadow chemistry style, and because he has incisive, you guys know all that's like a really big deal. But I'm telling you, like for me personally, when it comes to how the game works, right? When they release like a new version of the card, that's like what you're supposed to be using in that time period. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were to get Hamzik like way earlier in the year, then he'd be really sick. But that's just my opinion. You know, obviously, if people were to do the SBC because they have the fodder, they're going to choose to do that card regardless, right? So, yeah. So for the evolution video for today, we're going to be talking about the Welcome to UT one. So I think the reason why they called it this, and I could be wrong, but it's mainly because the game is on sale right now for like 50% off. At least here in Canada it is. And I think they're going to probably start doing that everywhere. So for people that are buying the game for significantly cheaper than the full price that it was initially, they're going to be looking at this evolution because it's going to be like the first one that they look at, right? Is this a paid evolution? No. So it's a free evolution, which obviously adds a little bit to it, right? Not a little bit to it, but a lot to it, because for these evolutions, like there's going to be some cards that are going to be sentimental to people where they're going to get some very, very good improvements, right? But you can already see some of the meta options for this one, especially if you did get the game earlier and you've held on to certain cards. This one could be really good because I'm seeing like Pepe right off the bat, which is really good, but he mainly gets some stat improvements. Do I think that this is like significant enough for you to choose a card like this? Probably not. I think if any point, you know, they drop like if they drop like more play styles or they give him like a weak foot improvement, it's a free evolution. I feel like that's when you kind of go down this direction, right? Because you have to kind of do all these chain evolutions, like you're paying for the 35k thing. And yeah, you're getting like different play styles, but it doesn't feel like significant enough, in my opinion, right? Marcus Rashford is the main card to take a look at when it comes to this evolution, because he does get a pretty significant upgrade in regards to usability. I think generally speaking with Marcus Rashford, again, when it comes to an evolution like this, you can improve it, but it will feel like there's going to be like better options for the most part. Like it doesn't really feel like it makes a lot of sense to go down this route. Like, yes, you have the finisher chemistry style for the dribbling and the shooting boost, but I mean, an evolution like this, if you were to go down this direction, it's because you're kind of new into the game. You don't really know the options that are out there. Like it's one of those types of situations. Because like honestly, depending on where who you use in the left mid, left wing position, there's gonna be like a lot of different choices. Cards in the transfer market are like significantly cheaper, right? So when it comes to evolutions in general, you should always go down the route of, you know, improving cards that you don't think are ever going to get evolutions. It's always the route that you should definitely go down. But, you know, even a card like Salma, like this card is just like a rare gold, like who has a left mid stuff, left wing stuff, also has inside forward for left wing. Like, you know, that's where people are like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for something like this, right? Joelinton gets an upgrade. Honestly, the upgrade is actually pretty significant for him because that pace boost is massive, right? So because the pace boost is massive, if you're a Newcastle fan, Premier League fan, you know, you want to build a team around that, there's a lot of good stuff to look at when it comes to this card. I will say the good stuff is more from like a defensive perspective, right? Only if you choose to use him as a center mid. So you know how some formations, guys, if you use like a 4-5-1, and then you have like the guy who's a center mid right down the middle, the box to box for that specifically is how you would utilize a card like this, because he would still be the guy that you would kind of want to be decent enough defensively. Are you going to notice like a significant improvement for this card in the center mid position? More debatable, right? Because obviously for meta in this game, it is better to work with cards that do have better dribbling capabilities, right? On a shadow chemistry style for this card, with the pace and defense boost, the lengthy is definitely very helpful because you get the boost in both of those areas. But yeah, it's definitely like a higher improved version of his card because the pace is very significantly upgraded, right? So definitely really good in that regard. Pepe we already checked out. This is a direct upgrade if you wanted to do this, which, to be fair, still gives him some good stat improvements. Getting a physical boost is not a bad thing. I'm not really against that because strength is definitely very helpful. Giving him a bounce boost is also pretty helpful too when it comes to the dribbling. But the rest of it is, I guess, depends, right? Because he gets like the rolls, right? Inside forward plus plus. Yeah, I mean, the inside forward plus plus could be pretty cool too, just because his inside forward plus sometimes performs way better than some players who have inside forward plus plus, right? Because this game is like kind of weird in that sense because there's different variables that affect the way that they play in those areas. But yeah, Doku gets an upgrade if you wanted to go down this route. He does get a pretty significant upgrade in regards to like shooting and physical mainly. Those are like the main areas that he gets those improvements. Generally speaking, though, kind of lacks in playstyles. I mean, you could go in the route of improving a card like this, potentially giving him a marksman chemistry style, going from there, or you kind of go down the route of, you know, just giving him like a finisher chemistry style for the shooting and dribbling boost, because it still gives him a pretty good dribbling boost with a shooting boost. But again, nothing too crazy special. It kind of the concept of the evolution does make sense for people who are being welcomed into evolutions, right? Ryan Sherki gets an upgrade as well. The upgrade for this is not necessarily horrible. So if you didn't really do like the other version, this one is not super bad. I think the dribbling stats of the other one is a little bit better though, or it could be a lot better to be fair. But Sherki is definitely one of those cards where it's like, if you're starting off the game and you just want an improvement to a Sherki card, he's just one of those guys that performs very well. Like, I wish on the accounts I were to, like, I wish I did the evolutions for Sherki because it would have been very helpful just in case I had to review cam position formations. But just didn't end up doing that, right? There's gonna be some other cards here that could be really cool. Let's see this card right here, right? So that's a very significant boost for this card. But more so in the sense if, I mean, he gets a nice upgrade, but this is more so if you want to use him as like a main attacker, because the stat boost, even though significant, it's still not really like high enough, you know? It's a nice card. He gets good improvements, like really big stat improvements, but it's more so like playing at the heartstrings of the casual that don't really know any better, I would say, because a couple of things are a little bit low on the card for the current thing of the game. Because like I said, guys, like there's a lot of cards that you'll get as transfer market players that'll be a little bit better, right? But again, you should always go down the route of sentimental for evolutions because it's always the better route. You have cards like Ansu Fati who gets a card, so that's from the inform improvement, so a good pace improvement and a good physical improvement, but not enough for you to notice that difference, right? So again, you can go on the route of giving him a finisher, improving the dribbling and the shooting of the card, and he does get a nice improvement. Will people enjoy using this for like a long period of time? A little bit more debatable, I would say. It's one of those ones for sure. You got some other options here, like Naz, Spurs player, gets 87 for dribbling. The pace improvement is more noticeable, and then the 80 physical. The 80 physical is actually a pretty good boost too, because she's a female player, so maybe, again, because of height, body type, the way that they can be a little bit more agile. Like, she's 5'5", right? So I feel like her movement across the pitch could be significantly improved as well, right? So the physical boost while being able to provide her with a hawk is definitely really cool, because she also turns into a 4-star. So if you're a Spurs fan and you want to put like a female player in your team, you can kind of do that if you really want to as well. Anthony gets an improvement that is a direct upgrade. So for the memes and for the fact that he actually looks pretty usable, it's not necessarily bad in that regard. The only thing is that with this card, guys, when you go down this route, again, it feels pointless, right? Because his transfer market card is not super expensive. It's 94K. It's actually maintained its price, mainly because he has the finesse and the tiki-taka, being a player that is being played on the right-hand side, right? So with Anthony, EA formatted this card really nicely, and he suits the meta really nicely because of the play styles that they ended up giving him. So with cards like that, it almost feels a little bit more irrelevant, right? If it'll feel way more relevant if you go for some of the more sentimental cards for this one. Like, let's say, for instance, if I were to go, because let's see, right? Because it's all about like increasing usability for cards that will never get the upgrades, right? So we'll go to the evolution players. We'll go to welcome to UT EVO. And then here you could see like the chain ones, right? So there could be some cool chain ones that people end up liking, right? This Elia card is trending, right? So if you're from these countries, these upgrades are actually pretty good. And it actually does look pretty good because he's finesse shots and he could play on the left-hand side, right? So that's obviously a really big deal, especially for the people that are looking at it from a sentimental perspective. A card like this, you would also give a marksman to. Like, they're giving a finisher, but I'd probably give him a marksman just because of the way that the dribbling is formatted with the shooting, because the pace with a quick step and a rapid is actually not in a really bad area, right? So again, for sentimental cards, also I think that's from the Turkish league, like that could be really cool for people as well. So yeah, obviously always search the sentimentals, could be there because, you know, they could be really cool. This card gets a 4-star, 5-star upgrade from El Capitan to welcome to UT EVO. Really good playstyles, to be honest. Like this card actually looks pretty solid. Dribbling could maybe be low. It all depends, right? Because he has press proven, he has first touch. So there's a lot of playstyles that are kind of compensating for the dribbling being low in certain positions. But like I said, guys, for an evolution like this, definitely want to go down the route of sentimental. We've said that a billion times in this video, but, you know, I try to promote that as much as possible because I think with evolutions, that is the direction that people should head towards, right? But this is an example, like if it were up to me, right? Just as one of the players selected. So let's say I wanted to get an improved version of Vinicius Lopez, who is a player that plays for Santa Clara, who gets like decent playstyles. This stuff is something that you can improve, and then, you know, you just go in the route again of, you know, just improving the dribbling of the card, probably giving him like a finisher or something, and you have a usable version of Vinicius Lopez, right? Again, this is more in the route of sentimental, depending on like what you want to do. I always like to go to Santa Clara because, again, they don't really have super high rated cards. So let's say I were to go to like Arsenal, right? Just as an example. So we go to Arsenal's club here. Trossard is one of the ones that are trending because Trossard, he's trending because he already has like certain base mechanic stuff. So for a lot of people, you know, if they were to just give him like a hunter chemistry style, use him in the side position, have better shooting, have the finesse shot plus, like that alone will be really nice, right? Because finesse shot plus is actually a really good playstyle. Fabio Vieira would be a really cool one in regards to a base improvement, because it's really difficult to see this guy, you know, getting any sort of cards. But I'm pretty sure he's on loan, so I'm pretty sure it should be like a different. Well, I'm searching only for Arsenal, but I'm pretty sure that card is probably rare because I swear he's on loan. I could be wrong, but I swear he was. But yeah, you could see here, right? It's cards that you're improving that you don't think will ever get cards. Cards like Martinelli and stuff, I think at some points they will, but it just depends on how you also want to evo them, because you might prefer certain playstyles, right? Like your evolution version could be significantly better than the transfer market version, right? But with a card like Fabio Vieira, you know, you give, or you have tiki-taka, you have technical. If you give this card a hunter chemistry style, the usability is there. Like the finishing is not as high as you'd like it to be, but it's still in a pretty decent area, right? So it's just one of those types of evolutions where it's just introducing people to the concept of the evolutions. Could there be some options that are lower in regards to meta? Sure, but if you choose certain cards that, you know, feel sentimental to you, then it could be really fun in that regard too. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video today. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.